Hey, take a minute to download, like, and subscribe to Hack Gear. Today we're diving into a concept that sounds, well, straight out of a thriller novel maybe, but it's already subtly yet powerfully shaping our reality. AI-powered vibe hacking. It's a fascinating and, frankly, a bit unsettling look at how artificial intelligence is moving beyond just processing data to actively influencing your very mood and emotional atmosphere.
It really is a profound area to explore. This deep dive, it focuses on how AI is deliberately manipulating these emotional atmospheres around individuals, around groups. And the critical shift here, I think, is that the goal isn't always persuasion with facts or logic, not directly anyway. It's more about shaping your mood, optimism, cynicism, urgency, apathy, you name it, which then subtly but powerfully influences your perceptions and behavior. When we talk about influence in cyber operations, this feels like a whole new frontier. That distinction is crucial, isn't it?
Yeah.
Shaping mood over changing minds directly.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's unpack this. How does AI actually do this vibe hacking?
Yeah.
What are the tools, the mechanisms it uses to shift our emotional landscapes, often without us even realizing?
Right. We're looking at several key mechanisms here, each one designed to subtly alter your emotional state and, well, consequently, your actions. The sophistication really lies in their adaptive, sort of personalized approach to emotional influence. So first up, we have generative AI. This is really about crafting instant mood shifts with incredible precision sometimes. Think about text, visuals, audio even, being adjusted in tone and style. From sarcastic to hopeful, anxious to calm, all generated on demand to evoke a specific feeling. Like imagine a foreign adversary using generative AI. They could produce thousands of social media posts, right? Each one may be finely tuned to resonate with a particular emotional frequency in different target groups, subtly seeding, maybe discontent, or perhaps false optimism.
So it's not just creating content, it's content engineered, like from the ground up, to have a specific emotional punch. A cybersecurity team might ask an AI to create, phishing emails that evoke intense urgency.
Right.
Or an influence app deploys images designed to cultivate specific biases. The AI becomes an emotional architect. That's interesting.
Precisely. And building on that, recommender AI plays a huge role too. These algorithms, you know them, they're designed to keep you engaged, but how they do it is key. They achieve this by amplifying emotionally charged content, whether it's like anger-inducing news that confirms your biases or awe-inspiring visuals keeping you scrolling, or maybe humor designed to foster a kind of false sense of connection. These systems boost stuff that elicits strong feelings. The more emotional the content, the more likely you are to interact. And that creates an emotional feedback loop, which of course can be exploited for long-term emotional conditioning.
That helps explain why our feeds often feel so saturated with extreme emotions.
Yeah, it's not just finding what we like, but what makes us feel strongly, specifically to hold our attention. That constant exposure, wow, it could genuinely shift someone's baseline emotional state over time, make them more susceptible to certain narratives.
It absolutely can. And then consider AI companions. These synthetic personas, like advanced chatbots or virtual assistants, they're designed to sustain trust and specific emotional states over long periods. They learn your preferences, your conversational style, even your emotional triggers. And they subtly steer your mood through consistent interaction. For instance, in a romance scam, an AI companion isn't just generating text, it's building an emotional bond, designed to cultivate specific feelings, maybe longing or dependency, making the target more vulnerable to manipulation.
That's a powerful tool. Yeah. And deeply concerning, yeah. Creating a sustained artificial relationship builds a level of influence that's incredibly hard to resist, almost like emotional grooming. But what's the broader scale of this, beyond just individual interactions? And that brings us right to influence operations facilitated by AI, which is particularly relevant for our audience, I think. Here, AI floods communities with specific types of content, memes, sarcasm, maybe despairing narratives. Not to win an argument with facts, but really to shift the overall emotional atmosphere of a group. It's about creating a general feeling about a topic or situation. A foreign adversary, for example, could deploy AI to generate just a continuous stream of content, designed to make a target population feel, say, apathetic about democratic processes, or deeply cynical about their government's ability to handle a crisis.
So it's less about fabricating a convincing lie and more about eroding the emotional will to even engage with truth, or just making people feel like their efforts are futile. That's wild. That's a far more insidious way to manipulate, foundational, really, for cyber and information warfare.
It targets the emotional core, exactly, which makes it incredibly effective for shaping public sentiment and enabling cyber campaigns, too, by eroding trust or fostering complacency.
Okay, so this isn't just theory. We're already seeing this stuff in action. where are these sophisticated AI vibe hacking strategies actually being deployed? Out in the wild, particularly within influence and cyber operations.
That's the critical question, isn't it? And yes, we're observing some alarming developments. From various sources, it indicates this isn't just a future threat, it's a present danger, being actively leveraged to manipulate people and exploit vulnerabilities. Right now. Okay, so one clear example comes from the Anthropic Threat Report. You might have seen it. This report specifically highlighted how advanced AI models like Claude have been used in malicious ways. We're talking about facilitating extortion emails, orchestrating sophisticated romance scams that play directly on emotional vulnerabilities, and even creating fraudulent job applications designed to exploit individuals in desperate situations. In these cases, it's not just the AI writing the text. It's crafting narratives that evoke specific emotional responses: fear, longing, hope, using generative AI to personalize the emotional appeal, and maybe AI companions to sustain that emotional connection over time, all to achieve malicious cybercrime goals.
So the AI becomes an integral partner, understanding and manipulating human emotions for criminal gain. It's a genuine force multiplier for these threat actors.
It's becoming alarmingly sophisticated. And then you have Wired's warning. They explicitly called the rise of vibe hacking the next AI nightmare, warning of autonomous AI agents weaponizing psychology. Their key takeaway, which I think is spot on, is that attackers don't need to win with facts anymore. They just need to manipulate the vibes. An autonomous agent could create this overwhelming sense of doubt or anger or even manufacture joy around a subject, just to push a narrative or sow discord, entirely bypassing rational argument. And this directly impacts information security by making populations vastly more susceptible to influence operations.
Right. So instead of trying to convince you with a fake news story, they just make you feel distrustful of all news sources, or maybe incredibly passionate about some topic without any real basis, in fact.
Yeah,
this changes the game for information warfare.
Indeed it does. It's far more subtle and often, frankly, more effective as an approach. Building on that, The Verge's cybersecurity alert has identified AI as a top emerging cybersecurity threat. And vibe hacking is a significant component of that threat landscape. It highlights that protecting systems isn't just about direct intrusion anymore. It's also about safeguarding the human element from psychological manipulation, which in turn can lead to security breaches, compliance failures, or even widespread civil unrest, all stemming from these emotionally compromised populations.
That fundamentally shifts the focus of cybersecurity, doesn't it? It's not just about firewalls and antivirus software anymore. It's about understanding human psychology and its vulnerabilities to these AI-driven emotional attacks.
Absolutely. And this isn't just speculation. Academic research published in top journals like Nature on platforms like Arctech has repeatedly demonstrated this. They've shown how AI agents can covertly influence human decisions through very subtle cues. These studies prove the profound psychological impact even small manipulations can have. It shows that AI doesn't need to make grand, obvious statements to shift your thinking. A slight change in tone, a carefully chosen emoji, a perfectly timed nudge, often executed by generative AI or recommender systems, that can be enough to sway behavior.
The idea that subtle, maybe even imperceptible nudges from AI can impact our decision-making.
Yeah.
And that's pretty unsettling. So what does this all truly mean for us? Let's connect this to the bigger picture. What are the profound implications of widespread AI vibe hacking across different sectors? Not just individual scams, but society, marketing, and especially, like you said, in warfare and cyber influence operations.
Well, the implications are really profound, affecting almost every aspect of our lives, from the personal right up to the geopolitical. It's about how entire systems can be engineered to manage collective emotional states, and how this qualitatively changes the landscape. Okay, so on a social impact level, we're already seeing engineered feeds that subtly shape moods at scale. We talked about that. But what AI-powered vibe hacking fundamentally changes is the scale and precision. The micro-targeting with which these emotional shifts can happen. This can erode the shared emotional experience needed for, say, civic dialogue, making societal consensus building way harder, an order of magnitude harder maybe. This isn't just accidental polarization anymore. It's algorithmically cultivated outrage or anxiety, leading to a much more fractured and emotionally volatile social fabric, which is, ripe for exploitation by influence operations.
So our online experience isn't just showing us what's popular. It's actively cultivating emotional states within us and within groups. That's a powerful form of social engineering, making us more predictable, maybe easier to manipulate collectively.
It is, and it's happening continuously. Then moving to marketing and branding. Businesses are now crafting specific vibes using AI aesthetics at an unprecedented level. From color palettes and font choices in packaging to the emotional tone of online ads, the music in commercials, AI helps evoke desired emotional responses in consumers. It's creating a holistic emotional experience around a brand, not just selling a product. That cool factor, the luxury feel, the trustworthy atmosphere, all of that can be algorithmically optimized by generative AI to influence purchase decisions.
It's the ultimate emotional branding then. Every touch point is designed to put you in a specific headspace about their product or service. You don't just see an ad, you feel the ad.
Exactly. But perhaps the most concerning implication, certainly for our audience, is in warfare and disinformation. Adversaries can manipulate the emotional climates of target populations, fostering cynicism, division, panic, all without firing a single shot or overtly spreading false information. Imagine AI systems generating content that makes a population feel utterly hopeless about their economy, or deeply suspicious of their neighbors, or completely apathetic towards democratic processes. It's about winning hearts and minds by manipulating moods on a national scale, creating conditions ripe for more overt cyber attacks or political destabilization. This is really a new form of cognitive warfare.
That's a truly frightening thought, winning a conflict by emotionally debilitating an entire population from within, without them even realizing they're under attack. It really is a new frontier of information warfare, directly impacting national security.
Indeed. And finally, on a very personal level, personal behavior is at stake. Even those emotional AI companions designed for companionship, they can subtly steer personal behavior and decision-making through consistent, gentle nudges based on that sustained emotional connection. Now, an AI companion encouraging healthier habits might be benign, right? But what if an AI companion, maybe compromised or maliciously programmed, started subtly nudging you towards extreme views or risky financial decisions, the long-term, low-intensity emotional influence? That's the key here.
Wow. Okay. This all sounds incredibly pervasive. It feels like every digital interaction, every piece of content we see could be a potential vector for this kind of manipulation. So what can we do? What can listeners do to protect themselves from being unknowingly manipulated by these AI-powered emotional nudges?
It's a significant challenge, no doubt. But there are actionable defenses you can employ. You can build resilience. And the good news is a lot of it boils down to, well, critical thinking and conscious engagement. So the first step is simply awareness, just knowing this stuff exists. Learn to spot mood manipulation before you react. If something evokes a really strong emotion in you, anger, joy, fear, despair, whatever, before you've even had a chance to consciously process the actual information, pause. Pause and question why. Ask yourself, is this content trying to make me feel something specific? And if so, what's the agenda behind that emotion? Recognizing the emotional intent is really the first line of defense.
Right. So cultivating emotional intelligence about our own reactions to the content we consume. Don't let the emotional spike bypass your rational thought.
Yeah.
It sounds like a mental firewall for our feelings.
That's an excellent way to put it, yeah. Next, practice diversification. Actively rotate your information sources. Don't rely on just one platform or one news outlet or one social media feed. That single source might be creating a closed loop of emotion-driven content designed to reinforce a particular vibe. So seek out multiple perspectives, including those that challenge your initial emotional response. The broader and more varied your information diet, the harder it is for any single algorithm to really corner your emotional landscape.
That makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
Breaking out of those echo chambers and filter bubbles is crucial. These systems thrive on them, right? So if one source is consistently pushing you into a specific emotional state, actively seek out others that offer a different emotional tone, even if the core facts seem similar.
Absolutely. Third, cultivate resilience. And this isn't just about individual strength, it's also about community. Practice what you might call emotional hygiene. Take regular breaks from overwhelming or emotionally taxing content, especially if you notice it's consistently pulling you into negative states. And engage in communities online or offline that prioritize critical thinking, fact-checking, and respectful debate. That helps restore emotional balance. A strong, discerning community can act like a collective immune system against pervasive vibe hacking.
So it's about building personal habits and finding supportive groups that value clear-headedness over just emotional reactivity, like building mental and emotional stamina against these constant nudges.
That's a crucial component. Exactly. And then finally, we need to advocate for transparency. push for greater transparency in AI applications, especially in areas designed to elicit emotional or affective responses. Knowing when you're interacting with AI and understanding its purpose, whether it's a chatbot, a content generator, a recommender system, that's crucial. We need clear disclosure so individuals can make informed decisions about their engagement and their emotional exposure. Regulation and industry standards definitely have a big role to play here. To safeguard against malicious cyber operations using these techniques, remember, facts matter. Of course they do. But your vibes can be hacked. This deep dive into AI and vibe hacking really shows us that critical thinking extends beyond just verifying information now. It now has to include questioning the emotional atmosphere around the information itself, especially in this era of sophisticated influence in cyber operations.
Thanks for listening till the end. Tell us what you think in the comments below. And don't forget to like and subscribe to Hack Gear. And as always, stay curious, stay critical.